Heroes are ordinary people who do extraordinary things. What a brilliant quote to start today's session with. Welcome to another truly inspiring episode of Dr. Kamini Rao's Masterclass. Today on our show, we have with us a well-known personality who hails from Uttarakhand but has done all her education in Bhopal. She is known for her amazing courage when it comes to fighting crime and for her commitment to her duty. This renowned person shows a special interest in working for women emancipation and empowerment. When it comes to food, of course she admits that she loves homebound girl, prefers healthy, desi, homemade meals to anything that is oily. She might be not trained singer, but singing is definitely in her blood. Her singing skills went viral with her rendition of a Kannada song from Shankar Nag's movie Gita. This lively person plays multiple roles in life, from being a wife, a mom, a sister, a daughter, and not forgetting the main role of an IPS officer. We applauded Priyanka Chopra's effort as Abha Mathur in Prakash Jha's Jai Gangaajal, but not many know that her role has drawn huge inspiration from MP IPS officer Isha Pant. I am delighted to announce the presence of Isha Pant. Welcome to the show, Isha.
Thank you.
A family consisting of an IFS officer and a human resource professional, a wing commander and an IPS officer. What a talented bunch of sisters you people are. How does that happen?
I think definitely the credit goes to our parents, because I think whatever children are a reflection of what parents are and the kind of upbringing they give to the children. So for us, whatever success we've had in our lives, it is all because of our parents, my mother and my father. We are 4 sisters, as you mentioned. They never brought us up making us feel that we were any lesser than anybody else. So be it sports, be it oratory, be it going out or doing things on our own, or be it fighting the Eve teasers. My mom said, you have to deal with it on your own. You have the ability to deal with it on your own. So they made us very independent. And yes, it was very, very important for us to have a career of our own. It was very clear from a very beginning of our lives that we had to make a career of our own. And both our parents, they were both working. So that again was an inspiration, because having a working woman definitely gives a lot of inspiration to daughters. Not just to daughters, sons as well, but more so to daughters, I believe. So for us, I think if at all, if we must say or give credit to anybody, it is our parents. We were in a very small place of Bhopal, it's a small town, sleepy town of Bhopal. My father was an engineer with BHL, my mom was a lecturer. In a sleepy town of Bhopal, having 4 daughters was not easy for them. They had to hear a lot of things from people. People used to pity them for having 4 daughters. Oh, you have 4 daughters, you will have to get them married off, and poor parents. But now they're all very proud of us.
Absolutely. I don't know why you should be pitied, because I think you're the jewels in the crown today. Because I don't understand the mindset of people or the society today. And I think you people are a perfect example to change that mindset of the country. And going by the statistics today, I think you are almost like standing out as an example to the entire country today, that 4 daughters and all of you excelling so much in the community. How do you feel?
We feel good, and especially as you rightly mentioned, in our society, having daughters is not something which is usually welcomed. Unfortunately, that's how it is. And but for me, I always wanted a daughter, and I think I'm the luckiest person to have a daughter. So though our parents heard a lot from others while they were pitying them, but they never let us hear any of those things. So they kept us shielded from all those thoughts, and the way they brought us up was like, we were made to feel that we are powerful and we are strong, and then we have the ability to create our own lives. And that is and that definitely feels good, because a lot of young women come to us and they say that they feel inspired. So definitely we feel very happy to having played that role in their lives.
And you were the last of the lot.
Yeah.
So how did you feel? I mean, when they found that this was the fourth girl child, was it the same enthusiasm they had when compared to the first, second and third?
I'm sure there must have been, they must have heard a lot of things from people when the fourth daughter was born. And my mom has a story to tell me, like when I was born, definitely a lot of people again came and said, oh, it's a daughter again, and what are you going to do, poor parents and all. My mom she just went and she took me to the God, and she said that, you have given me 4 daughters, and it is your responsibility to ensure that they become something in their lives. And that belief that she had, that the children that she has given birth to, the 4 daughters that she has given birth to, will definitely do something to make her proud. I think that firm belief that she had in God, I think that really paid off.
Good. I think that is something that has sort of passed on to all of you, to say that you can do it. Forget whether you're male or female. The fact is, what's in you, what's your DNA, and that same DNA has passed on to you from your parents. I think father was also supportive to the same extent.
100%. Like, I haven't seen a man as supportive as my father is. Definitely, he is an epitome of, when we talk of women empowerment, I believe it is both men and women who get involved in that. So my father is an epitome of how a man should be when it comes to women empowerment. And he, as I mentioned, both my parents were working, and my father would come back from office and he would help my mom in the kitchen. So I've seen, while growing up, I've seen my father giving a helping hand or being equal inside the household. We never saw this gender disparity where women or my mom was relegated to one kind of role and my father was doing another kind of role. It was very balanced kind of a household that we grew in, and definitely my father has a huge role to play in shaping our understanding of how gender roles should be, or what women empowerment looks like. And I think I'm lucky that I also have a husband who really believes in this.
But when you look at, say, upbringing, like through your school going age and things like that, you see even the common textbooks which says that the father goes to work and the mother cooks the food, and then the son goes and plays outside, and then the daughter helps the mother in the kitchen and lays the table and then takes all the dishes out. You see the stereotype kind of books that we had during the time that I studied, and perhaps may not be, because you come from at least 2 generations beyond. So the same textbooks still actually get you ingrained with. After 6 o'clock, they'll expect the girls to be home, but the boys can go out for a late night show, maybe 9 o'clock, etc. But then the girls have to be at home. So this sort of stereotypes and sort of wires the mind of girls to say you can't go out if it's after 6 o'clock. So did the parents also sort of do the same kind of wiring to your brain, saying that you have to be home by this time and you can't go out, and who are you talking to? And did they monitor during your time, I don't know whether you had the mobiles or it had just started or whatever it is, or did they monitor who's your friends during school? Because that would be a big headache. Having 4 daughters and monitoring 4 daughters would have been a huge exercise for the parents.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Yeah, our parents never monitored us like that. And, they told us, I mean, we knew what to do, what not to do. So we were given freedom, and that is the reason why we were very responsible about our freedom. And we knew that we would never misuse our freedom. So I think that is some responsibility that they were able to inculcate in us, because as I mentioned, both our parents were working. So my mom and dad, they weren't with us throughout the day. And we were into sports. I would go out. I was a national level gymnastic player, so we would go out every single day, to play, and sometimes we would come back late. But they had that faith in us that our daughters will not do anything wrong, and we were always very, very aware of our freedom that they had given us. So I think that consciousness that they were able to imbibe in us ensured that we had our freedom. At the same time, we used it in a way which was beneficial to us and was in no way pulling us down. So yeah, they never monitored us like that, never. Like they just told us this is what you should do, and we knew that we would know what to do and what not to do. Yeah.
And how close were the sisters?
Extremely close. Like, we are very, very thick, and we talk to each other every day. Even now, like, we talk to each other every day. Even like on our way to this place, I was talking to my sister about something. So yeah, we are very, very close. We are as close as it can be.
Very good. See, it's so nice to say that you all are very close, because this is what actually life is about. Because when you sort of look at one's marriage, children, somehow life takes you apart because of the kind of work that you have and the kind of things that you get drawn into, and still you make time and meet each other or talk to each other. It just says that, okay, look, when you make time and you sort of meet each other, it only goes to show that the bonds are very strong. And going forward beyond that, what is it that made you get into the kind of field that you're in? Because it's not usual that girls just pick up and say, I want to go into the police, because you just don't know. This is a man's job. The IPS is not something, Lati and Khaki, it's not something that a woman would easily take up, okay? Because that is something which is almost brawn, and it's not more brain, it's more brawn. So how come you, as a petite person with gymnastics behind you, go into police force?
Yeah. The thing is, all four of us are mentally and I think even physically very strong. We were always into sports and outdoors and all that. And mentally, we have been made very strong, because I think my mom is a very strong woman. Like, she's made of iron. So, though she doesn't look like it, just like me. So I think we were mentally always very strong, and this job, it requires you to be mentally very strong, more than maybe physical strength. It requires a lot of mental strength. So and always, as I told you, we were never told that as a woman you cannot do this. So it never came to me that as a woman I cannot be an IPS officer. So this restriction was not there in my mind for me. So yeah, definitely when I was taking this exam, so there are preferences that we need to fill up, and IPS, actually there was an incident that happened which actually forced me or pushed me into IPS, and that was a case where a friend of mine told that she had experienced, she had witnessed a sexual harassment happening in the balcony with a young girl. She was being sexually harassed by a man in the balcony of a house where everybody was standing and horrifically they were watching, but nobody had the courage to report or to stop. And when I heard this, I was like really affected by it, really affected. I was like, no, we need to do something to ensure that our society is safe for the women and children and for the vulnerable section. So because I was in the process of taking this exam, I decided to fill IPS as the top preference, so that I can get into the service and actually create some difference in the lives of the people, rather than sit and complain. Let us do something and create difference in the lives of the people.
Well, I think sometimes incidences like this really make you go into the field, but at the same time there are also certain things which has really affected you, like for example, patrol at night so that it makes it safe for women to travel at night. Now, why did that come about? Durga, you know, sort of the kind of patrolling at night and that Durga episode. Now, can you explain that?
Yeah, sure. See, I was DCP Southeast when I held a meeting with all my women, staff, women police personnel, and I realized that they are a big number. They're not a very small number. They're a significant number, but I felt that they were not being utilized to their full extent, and they're strong, brave women who want to do something in their life, and that is the reason why they joined the police. But their potential was not being utilized to its optimum. So I decided that I need to train them firstly in martial arts, self-defense, so that their confidence increases. At the same time, ensure that they come in some kind of a controlling position. So right now, like for instance, when they were going out for patrolling, but they were sitting beside someone. I always give this example that sitting beside someone or behind someone will not give you the control. It is when you are in front of the steering vehicle or steering wheel, or when you're driving a motorbike, that is when the you can truly control, and that is also going to make them mentally very strong. And when a woman who is out on the street, she sees a woman patrolling the streets, how confident she will feel.
Much better than if a man is concerned.
Yeah, absolutely. And she will feel that she is much better protected. And how many young girls will get inspired looking at her? So that is the reason why I started Durga Vahini and Shaurya Vahini, where I thought that these women should come out and patrol the streets of Bengaluru city, so that they can make it safe for both men and women. And that's the idea of Shaurya Vahini.
How successful was it?
It was successful, but then I think all initiatives, they begin with a person, and they depend. It depends if the next person takes it forward or not. But I think there were certain issues. They continued for a while, but now we are starting it for the entire city of Bengaluru, where all the police stations will have these women patrol, and we are training them in self-defense and whatnot. So very soon this will be a reality in the entire city of Bangalore.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that is fantastic.
Yeah.
You see, what I find is, at least, practically looking around, it's all these drunkards and drug peddlers across, the residential areas of the Bangalore. They sit down and sell drugs in residential areas and make people addicted to it initially by giving them free drugs, and then start doling out this for a price. And you see them in these nooks and corners of the residential areas, and believe me, they become such a menace, especially this plus the sex racketing that goes on. And when we ask these hoysalas to come, not only that they ask for a price, but they are never there when these people are the same, because they have some kind of an understanding with them. Mm-hmm. And then these people also get into some kind of alcohol and start throwing these empty alcohol bottles, etc. And you see that it becomes such a menace. Then they say that you call anyone, we know who they are and we'll manage. And then finally it becomes that the residents don't even come out of the houses at that point of time. They make a menace, throw these empty bottles and see that all these glass pieces are there, and then they walk out. And yet those hoysala vans are not there. They grace only those places where these people are giving haftas to them. So whatever we do, this damn corruption will never go.
Yeah. But that's a very valid point that you've raised, and for this we have come up with a system where we'll be monitoring hoysalas very, very closely, and through technology. We have taken their GPS location, we have geofenced their location, and from today, in fact, it will be applicable to all the hoysalas, where if they miss that location, an alarm will come to us, and so we are using technology to make our existing systems better. See, I am the one who is looking after the emergency response system, and hoysalas come under me. So we are constantly looking to improve our system in some way or the other, because physical monitoring becomes very tough. So that's when, because we have 272 Hoysalas, so that is the reason why we have come up with technological monitoring of these Hoysalas, so that we are able to give some kind of proper surveillance of these Hoysalas. And also, if such incidents happen where they have not listened to your complaint, kindly give them a poor feedback, because I personally look into each and every feedback, and each and every poor feedback, those people are called, explanation taken, understood, situation is understood, and we are trying to improve our system this way. At the same time, if you feel that Hoysalas are not responding properly, kindly come to us, and we have our Twitter handles, we have our Facebook handles, we have a WhatsApp number. Please message us, and we will ensure, and if you can give us the details, we will ensure that action is taken on this, because we are very, very particular that whatever services we are giving to people, they should actually be able to deliver.
Absolutely.
We are here for the public, and if we are not able to help the public, then our existence is not needed. So it's better if we just trying to improve our system. So please, I would request everybody who is watching this, please ensure that if such problem comes, you can reach out to us through our Twitter handle, our Facebook handle, our WhatsApp number, and please tell us, give us the details, and we'll take action on that.
Also, when you see of women empowerment, we talk about women empowerment so much, and yet time and again we hear of rape and more rape. And recently about this Guwahati rape, of a 21-year-old boy in Guwahati IIT raped a 19-year-old girl. And then that old fellow, that 21-year-old boy, was a very bright student, and his career was going to be spoiled. So they decided not to do anything for him. And then the 19-year-old girl said, "What about my career?" So how does one actually look at this?
I think, unless and until we ensure, while we are talking of women empowerment, and definitely we are making our women very strong, and we are ensuring that they are able to handle all the stresses of life and everything else. But what about the men? What about the boys? Are we ensuring that they are able to handle these empowered women? Are we making them understand that a woman who goes out to work, she cannot take care of the household in the same way as a non-working woman, So we need to understand, when we talk of women empowerment, we have to actually talk of gender equality. We have to ensure that the gender roles that we have for men and women, that those roles actually break. And we need to give that training to our boys. Are we doing that? Are the parents, are they doing that? So I think it's time for us to sit back and reflect on the kind of gender stereotypes we are perpetrating because of our kind of upbringing that we are giving to our children.
Which is what you really hit the nail on the head, Isha, because I think the creation of these rapists is also responsible on the mother. We say mother, but also father.
Absolutely.
I think, it all starts at home.
Yeah.
By gender inequality, by creating a substandard life for the girl as opposed or vis-a-vis the boy. We are already creating a kind of a difference, that the boy gets a better meal compared to the girl, and then the boy has extra privileges compared to the girl, and therefore we always say that the boy gets that little extra, and he feels that he is more privileged than the girl. Now, don't you think that all these people have to be retrained mind-wise, and society need not bear the burden of these rapists? It has to be the individual family that has to. Why should the society take the burden of these rapists when all these have been cooking in the family?
Absolutely, you're absolutely right. That, at home they see all these things. Many times there's so much abuse going on in the family, like the father abusing the mother, and there's not just physical abuse that is very visible, but there's a lot of mental abuse that goes on, where the woman is constantly made to feel maybe incapable or inept about a lot of things, a lot of judgments are thrown at women. So a boy who is seeing all these things will never be able to respect women in the true sense of the word. So it is important that we raise both our children equally, be it the boy or the girl, because it is not just about making the woman strong or a girl strong and powerful and independent, but it is also important to make our boys sensitive.
So would you think that there must be roles and responsibilities for boys and men in women's empowerment?
Definitely. I mean, 100%. I think when we talk of women empowerment, we cannot leave the men aside, because I don't want to say all men are oppressors, but because I have given you the example of my family, which is like, not all men are oppressors, but there are men who are oppressing women. So these men need to be taught. If we do not bring both men and women in this picture, then it will only be half done. And there are a lot of men who are very positive. I told you while we were talking a while back how there are some officers who are very, very positive towards women officers, and they are encouraging them every single day and ensuring that they achieve their full ability, and they are able to work in a free and safe atmosphere.